dated Tuesday, July 16th at 5. Call of being order roll call will be Randall.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Donna.
Here.
Robbie.
Here.
And Darwin, I'm here. So, all present. All right, number 3, approve the minutes of the last meeting dated June 18th, 2024. Does everybody have a chance to look at those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Tom Savage makes a motion to approve. Second, Patrick, Curtis. All four? All four, motion carries. All right, number 4, review salary schedule for 24-25 and approve. So, all right.
Hey, before we get started, Stephen, have you already called state?
No, they're waiting on this meeting, I guess, right now.
You not called state?
We said that we might need a system to give them a heads up,
Okay.
but they're not coming right this
Well, if you
second.
called it, I didn't want to waste nobody's time here tonight.
They're waiting on us.
Okay.
All right, I'll turn it over to the budget director. Want to go over these 3 plans?
Yes, okay, so there are 3 sets of papers in front of you. On the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a 6%, a $2, and a $3. Those are the 3 different packets you're looking at. And what you have behind that is the appropriations, the budget, and the salary schedules that apply to each one of those. So the documents to look over and then we'll dig into it deeper. You have a summary page on the top page.
And they're the same.
And it's the same on the top page.
Okay.
To give you a comparison.
Is this something than what y'all talked differently about last week? I'm just curious, because I don't have that paper and I was just wondering. Mr. Clark, is this something different than
I do
what?
not know. I wasn't in the last meeting, no. I wasn't here, sorry. That was the budget committee. This is the first time the salary committee's met on this part here.
Yeah.
Who's going? The column, $2 an hour and 1%, the difference is greater than the $3 an hour on 1%. Trying to figure out why that is.
Which one is it?
On your summary page,
Okay. And what's larger?
the 2%. I mean the $2 an hour.
Than the
6%, not 2%, 6%.
than the 6%?
$2 an hour and 1% versus the $3 an hour and 1%.
The total down here. I see this.
The $2 an hour proposed should be less than the $3 an hour?
I think that's with the alternatives of putting the $1 million out of debt service into it. So I think that's why you're seeing that, but we can go through it and see if it's.
Because it looks like the $3 is the way to go then, if it's less.
So the 6% and 10% still has the
Let me look. 6%.
$2.
Everybody had a chance to look over.
Yeah,
What, the transferring it over or?
But the most expensive is the $3.
Yeah, I don't understand.
We'll just.
No troubles, that's what I was wondering about. Okay.
You see the number of pennies? The number of tax pennies?
I'm just looking for something.
Yeah, look at the summary page in the middle.
Oh, gotcha, yes?
So the tax pennies,
Yep,
look at those numbers in that one.
okay. All right.
So the 6% would be 2.20. Right?
Yes, if you look at the 6% on page 7, the 6% packet on page 7,
So the $3 an hour raise is only 14%.
Let's do it one at a time, though. She's asking about.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
so on page 7, the 6%, the tax rate will be 2.20.
Which would make the taxes go up by 22 cents.
They're at 1.97, yes,
From 1.97, 22 cents,
23.
or about 23.
Yeah, 12.08. It's underneath. And that's, of course, not meeting our goals on the start pay.
Right. Go ahead, Patrick.
I was just saying, am I doing the math correct on the $3 an hour raise? It's gonna raise 28.26 pennies over $1.96, is 14%, 14.4.
No, okay, so it takes 28, it's saying that it would cost 28 pennies for the salary increase.
Exactly.
Okay, and then if you go to that page 7. $3 is in the middle column. That would put your tax rate at 2.24.
Sure.
You have an estimated fund balance of 5.6. That difference in tax rate from the current tax rate is 27 cents
Yep, 20,
and
okay.
14%.
Are you on the $3 packet?
Right now, I'm at the 2.
I'm sorry.
Okay, packet number 2.
All right. Connie, let's start with the 6%. Let's run through this real quick so everybody knows what's going on. All right?
Okay. All right, on the 6%. At the first column, you'll see the 6%, $2 per hour, and the 8% was just for a reference, and then the $3 on a 1% scale. All right, and it's got the different department amounts. Then it has the totals. So the first one is $542,366. And then underneath that, you see the value of the tax penny at 44,086.
Yep.
And the number of tax pennies it takes for that increase is 12.30. Okay? And then the next section is just an example where it is compared to last year's. So that's just a reference number, so you can see that you're still, the salaries are still in the $9 million range. Okay? That's really all that's to show you that.
Okay.
Okay? On page 2 of the 6%, it's the appropriating resolution, and it has pages 2 through 6, all the department's expenditures. And then on page 7, 7 is the tax levy resolution, if this one is chosen. And the first column is the 6%.
Okay.
And that would be using $1.59 put into the general fund of the $2.20 tax rate. 0.085 for the solid waste, the same for the highway, general purpose school fund, 0.4488, for a total of 2.20. Okay, that would give you an estimated fund balance ending at 5.7. So that 2.20 minus the current tax rate of 1.97 is 23.82. And that's a percentage difference of 12%.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
And if you go into page 8 will show you how $1.59 equates in the general fund from property tax. And what that does is put $7,009,610 in the general fund's property tax line item 40110. And you'll see that on page 12. That'll be the very first number you see on the far right column on page 12. So you always want to double check that number to make sure, and that's using the tax rate of 2.20. And then the 7,960,000 in the property tax. Now, if you go on to page 32 already, it will show you the impact. Page 32.
32. What's page 32?
Nope, I gotta go back for you. It used to be 32. It is, it's 27. Sorry about that, it's page 27, everybody. That's on the expenditures of $20,395,381 and the ending fund balance of 5.7.
And it'll get us to the fund balance that we need to be at, though, doesn't it?
Yes, we need at least 4.7. That's that's last year's numbers. So the 5 is still okay. But we're gonna be pretty much in that range on all of them. There's just a little, there's gonna be a little difference. Okay. So, the rest of the budget is all the other funds that are there. I'll put that in there so that when the budget meets, they'll have all the numbers. And then at the back of it is the salary schedule that pertains to the 6%. You have any questions about the 6%? You might want to look at a couple of the salaries because most of them is less than $1. So that's nowhere near $1.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I'll let y'all look at that and then we'll go to the $2 one. The $2 on the summary page is on the second column. And what that does is show you the cost of the increase. It's only the cost of the increase, it's not the entire salary. So, for example, solid waste, for a $2 raise per hour, the raise portion would be $112,961. And with all the departments, it would be $926,647. And it would take 21 tax pennies to get that. So pages 2 through 6 is the appropriating resolution for that budget. And go on to page 7. In the middle column, it shows what $2. The general fund would be 1.6099. the solid waste, .085, highway, .105, and the general purpose school fund, .4488, for a total of 22487. That compared to the current tax rate is .2781, and a percentage change of 14%. That would be a ending fund balance of 5.6, so we're still okay there. And that is still taking the 1 million from the interest earned and debt service to put it into the general fund to help offset the property tax. If you go on to page 8 shows how much 1.6099 equates to, and that's 7,097,341. And flip back over on page 12 to make sure that that's getting the right number. The far right top column, 7,097,341. Okay. And of course, this is using the tax rate of 2.2487. So let's go to page 27. You see what impact it has on our fund balance. That would be an estimated fund balance at the end of next year of 5.6. And that's still within the guidelines of what our fund balance is. In this scenario, it's a $2 per hour, and then the highway fund would be funding $1 per hour. If y'all don't have any questions, we'll move on to number 3. Number 3 is where we started out at the beginning. It's $3 per hour, because we were losing so many important employees. Trying to get a competitive rate of pay. And so you can see, you'll see the total, 1,245,651. What is that? That's the total cost of the raises, and that's 28 pennies. Oh, I know what you're talking about, Patrick. What that is the changes that was made to the ambulance service.
Okay.
That was the employees, the foreman, we were gonna have 3 or 4 foremen. Those were, it was taken out because they're not additional employees, they're
Okay.
the same
All right.
employees.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so then your appropriated resolution is 2 through 6. And then we go through 7. The general fund would be 1.694. Solid waste, 0.085. Highway, 0.1286. And the general purpose school fund, 0.4488, for a total of 2.3564. That's 38 cents and 19%. You go on page 8. Page 8 shows what $1.69 of the general fund would get 7,468,101 into the general fund property tax. Can you speak up, please? So let me go over there and make sure that that is the right number. It may be a number in this one. We might as well to have more pages. Okay. $7,468,101. That is the right number on page 12.
Page 44 is the,
And then if you go to page 44, it'll show what the fund balance impact is. Nope. Hold on. I'm sorry, Stephen gave me the wrong number, let me get the right one. It's okay, there's a lot of pages. Page 32. It's okay. Page 32 shows an ending fund balance estimated at 5.509716. And that is still within our guidelines of what we have to have in a fund balance.
They like 4.7, right? That's what the state,
4.7 was what we needed, that was our 3 months expenditures for last year.
Okay.
So you would want more than that for this year. But 4.7 was the benchmark that we used when we were preparing the budget.
Any questions from anyone?
that's about $2.38 on $3.
$2.35.
2.35.
235.64. 2.3564. And it's 38 cents.
All right, anybody have any questions that y'all understand everything? All right. We need to come up with a solution here. We need to vote on one of these three, proposals. 6%, $2 or $3, so.
What if we send the $3 to the budget committee, let them look at it and see if there's any more working team where we can get it down lower than the 235. And,
you wanna send it to the budget to see if you can get it lower than the 235 on the $3?
yeah, see if we can come up with some way to get a lower, see if we can get a lower tax rate for the $3 than the 235.
Where we gonna take it from, Randall?
We'll just gotta find somewhere in there. I mean, you know, we have to maybe take some more out of the fund balance or something. Then, to get it down lower.
Can I ask a
I-
question?
Go ahead, Brandon, go back.
I'm with for the $3. The only reason I'm for the $3 is I've been hammering it. We can't afford to get the jail decertified. It's gonna cost us $400,000 to $500,000 a year to transport prisoners if they decertify the jail. We need to have, money to get jailers to at least apply, let alone stay. And, so I'm for the $3.
Okay. All right. Rob, do you have anything?
I was just writing as fast as I can over here, trying to get it.
Donna, you have anything you want to interject?
Well, I'm not for the $3, so, not that I ain't for it, but it's just, we can't afford it. I think our employees deserve a big raise, but we just can't afford it.
What do you think we could get it any lower than the 235? Cut conveniences. We could take more out of the fund balance, as long as we don't get it down too low. You know, see what it does. Because, ambulance people and sheriff's department and all need more money, and we can't, we need to give everybody the same.
Well, you know, we can do two, we can send two proposals, one, and let the budget committee sit down, do the numbers, do the math, and then, come up with a solution. And then maybe get the whole county commission together, all the commissioners together, and we'll go before we take it forward.
I'm for the 2 and the 3. The 6% sounds good, except that the places we're hurting to hire people, it only adds 60, 70, 80 cents to their starting pay, whereas the $2 or $3 jumps it to
Why'd you buy all
$2.
them cop cars?
So that at least we can keep people, or at least have some decent people apply. So, yeah, for the, we'll send the 2 and 3 off to that budget committee.
It's on you all, y'all will have to decide, make a motion to that effect, if that's what we're gonna try to do.
I make a motion to send $2 and $3 proposals off to the budget.
We have a motion on the floor from Patrick to send,
Before this goes on, I want the public to realize a 6% would be a 12% increase in taxes. A $2 would be a 14% increase in the taxes. Then a $3 would be a 19% increase. When we say percent, we're talking 6% would be 22 cents, right? 21?
23.88.
23. A $2 would be 27 point something cents. And then a $3 would be 30, how much?
1958.
No,
235.
Pennies or percentage?
be 37 cents. Pennies.
Well, pennies different than percentage.
Because a lot of people are not understanding the percentage. They think we're going up 35%. It's not 35%, it's 30 cents with the $3 one, right?
But it's 15%, says, let's see, that's $2. $3 20 is,
19 point.
19.58%, less than 20%.
14%,
15,
27 cents.
the $2 is 15%.
What I was then, budget committee go back over and see if there's anything, you know, we can get out anywhere to get the percentage lower. We don't want the state to come in.
No, I don't want the state to come in here. We've got to come up with a solution here, but I don't.
But we need to get as low as we can.
We have a motion on the floor to send the 2 or 3 or both, or we can do that.
Let's send both of them.
That's what. And then or you could add the 6% and the $3.
I want to say something about the 6%? Okay.
I'm giving them an option.
Okay.
What they're talking about, so.
When was the last raise?
December 12th of 2022, they used the COVID money.
We're trying
Get a
to hash this
1%
out,
every
so we're not gonna do question and answers right now. We gotta do our meeting first. Nothing personal, we just need to work on these numbers. So,
Did you include the 6%?
No, I didn't want to.
so that's where we're at. We have a motion on the floor from Patrick, the 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And you got a second by Randall. Any discussion? You know, would it be any better to send all 3 of them to the number? Or just not leaving it out?
The only problem with the 6% is at $15 an hour, which is where we are with starting pay, they only get 90 cents. that's not gonna change anything, why is it not give any raises?
We got some just making $10.
Yeah, so it's gonna be 80 cents.
Something cents.
And so then might as well not give any raises. The idea is to get people in these positions so we don't decertify, get the jail
And
decertified.
then that cuts out the 6% cuts out the highway department.
6%.
My stuff, yeah, my stuff's gone up. I mean, a 4-inch cap for clean out went from $6 to $17. That's way more than 6% or even a $3 raise.
All right, we have a motion on the floor, for Patrick to send the $3 and the $2 back to the budget. And it's been seconded by Randall.
And the salary get back together and the whole court go sent to.
Now, what's the motion to do?
The motion is to send the $2 and the $3 proposal to the budget committee. And they're gonna work on the numbers. And then they're gonna bring a solution back to the salary committee. And then once the salary committee decides, then it will be up to have a meeting with all of the other commissioners before we have a court meeting. Is that it, Randy?
So they are gonna have a work session with every county commissioner, so everybody has to say so?
I think that would be what we need to do.
That's what it needs to be done.
So. All right. Here we go.
That would be
Any other thing? Go ahead.
motion, money.
Is it
Motion, right? That's the right motion.
Will
Yeah.
those meetings be public?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Everybody understand the motion? You got it?
Well, we say it one more time, make sure I got it right.
That's fine. Patrick has made a motion to send $3 proposal and the $2 proposal to the budget. And they're to look at the numbers, cut anywhere they can cut the funds. If not, come back with the proposal that they chose, the salary committee. And then the salary committee will vote, and then we'll have a meeting with all the other commissioners to decide, or to discuss it, and then decide at the next court meeting. Any other questions? I'll do the roll call just to finish these done.
You start down there.
You got anything else?
No.
Okay. Patrick?
yes.
Randall?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes too, so the motion carries. Well, the $2 and $3 will go to the budget committee, and they'll look over that and get back with us. Any older new business discussed? Next scheduled meeting would be, go ahead, talk about it. You got anything? We're running behind time.
Didn't hear what he said.
He wanted if you want to talk to speak, but we're gonna be running into our other time. For the salary committee?
Yeah.
Where's the list at?
Mr. Clark, when did you say the next meeting was?
They have it scheduled. We have it scheduled.
Did we get it? Well, I have no idea.
Everybody got somebody to sign up, ask questions. All right. I can't make this right. I can make it on Friday, but not this one.
Not this right,
Yes, not even yet.
All right, Gerald, you're first one on the list here, if you got any questions.
Yep, on your raises, okay? You're gonna give them straight across the board to everybody, right?
No, I'll answer that.
Is that right? Okay. Why do you not give a raise? Everywhere I've ever worked in my life, and every man in this room has worked, not selling his ass like a bunch of you all have. You get your raise for what you do, what you know, what you can do. Not just because you got a job with the county, everybody shouldn't get a raise. That's not right.
I'll take it, I agree with you 100%. But the way the government's set up, we don't have that choice. It goes to departments, and departments do that. I don't run departments. This is what we do as county
Maybe you
commissioners.
need your department heads up here too.
Bad man.
Okay, I'm just telling you, that's how it is.
Problem is,
Well, don't vote for it.
All right, Debbie, Alan, here, come on.
Okay, you understand. Find if there's any cuts, if there's any cuts. Every complaint that I've come with, it has been, the road committee has their own budget, you just don't do nothing with the road committee. The nursing home has their budget, they don't do nothing, they do their own little thing. But now, you just want to give the road people $1.50 raise, and Jonesnard's gonna match it $1.50, so they will get $3 too. Why give them that $1.50 if they have their own budget like the nursing home? Give the nursing home $1.50, you know? And if the road committee is already making more than our EMTs and our law, then I don't see that would be a no-brainer to me. Don't give them nothing. If they have their own budget, they need to work out of that budget.
Amen.
And everybody else needs to work out of their budget. You know?
Denise, ma'am? You're next,
The
ma'am.
only thing I got to say is just sounds like that y'all just throwed it in somebody else's lap tonight.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Everybody said you was gonna do that.
You can thank Patrick for that.
David Sadler, David?
yeah,
Thank you, Pat.
you know I'm on call.
Speak up, David.
How many county employees are we talking about?
250.
Pardon?
250, all of them.
$3 an hour.
250, except the nursing home, they don't get nothing.
That's 650.
So that's all, we've got the money to do all that?
No.
Not without
Is this on that $1 million insurance deal?
No.
They're not even listening.
Is this different than what we're paying for the? Yes. Okay, then I won't go there. I just wanna know about this. Why more insurance? Okay, thank you.
Miss Delvin, or Ruin Delvin, Brian Delvin?
People, I look at it this way. I've been doing stuff all my life, worked all my life. I've never given straight across the board to nobody. And that's the fact. If you got good management, if you got good managers, you're talking about losing people. If you got good leadership and good everything else, you can keep people. And that's a fact.
Yes.
That's a proven fact. And nobody. So I think that somebody needs to look at the management part of it first and figure it out, what's going on. Because if you lose 16 paramedics, something's going on there, so
Yep.
And it has more to do
that's
with
your
what they're
fact,
getting
apparently.
paid.
Well, you don't have to be a DA or dummy or whatever you want to call it to realize that. Thank you.
Sandra Beecham? Sandra, go ahead.
Why is the road department separate than everything else? The highway department?
Because the highway department receives its funding through the gas tax. It receives very little
I can hear
profit.
you.
Because the highway department sends 95% of its money comes from the gas tax. When you go to the pump to fill up in your car, we get a portion of that statewide.
Okay.
So that's the reason why the budget's different. The only property tax that we have been getting in the past was 8 cents is all we were getting, which is about $360-something thousand is what we were getting. And that money went toward oil and chips to work on the road. There's a state out formula that they use to calculate that, how much the rural area gets. It's 100%, 50% goes to the metropolitan areas like Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. And then the rural communities or counties have to divide it up among themselves. So that's how that breaks down. It's based on population and the size of the county.
And I wanna know about the convenience center out there. I know.
That's a different thing.
We separate out our recyclables and cardboard's one of the big things. So is that sold?
I don't know. That solid waste, I'm not involved
It
in
is.
that part of it. You'll have
The
to have to
cardboard
do
is sold, and
And what happens to that money?
it gets back into the fund.
county general.
To the solid waste fund,
Yes. It goes back into their fund.
to their budget?
Well, it goes back into county general, and then it's dispersed back.
general.
It goes back into.
All
That should be quite a bit of money. I know the plant that I worked at, that we made quite a bit of money off that.
We use all the cardboard and bale it. We have a cardboard baler, and they come and get it. And yes, that money that they get goes back into the solid waste fund.
So are you putting that back in to figure on part of these raises?
Yes, ma'am. We take it and use every bit of that.
And I heard, you, sir, talking about, wasting money traveling these prisoners here and there. I know one particular one, the sheriff just didn't want to deal with him anymore, the deputy or whatever. Let's just send him off to Bledsoe County and for 2 days. Drove him all the way over there.
We don't have any control of what the sheriff does, he's an
Well,
elected
I mean,
official. So
He
if
was
you don't like
working
the elected,
smarter instead of harder,
You'll have-
wasting money.
you'll have to call the sheriff about
We ain't
that.
got no good managers.
You'll have to call the sheriff about that, he's elected
You
official.
know, we all have got a budget, and we try to work smarter.
I do too.
You know, so I'm just asking that you do the same thing.
All right, thank you. All right, Lois, you're on, you have the floor.
Well, I wanna know why you bought so many of those, what were Durangos?
I didn't buy any.
You all, every one of you voted for it. You voted to buy 2 ambulances. You have voted all this stuff in to buy, but you ain't made a cut one, not one, and don't start on me. Make some cuts.
2% across the board, all department heads should find a 2% savings.
It's against the law.
Why?
Kathy?
How's it against the law?
You can maintenance of effort, you have to give what they got last year, you can't do that.
That's not true.
You don't
Well,
pay
they did
it.
raise last year,
If you
they
ain't
gonna
got the
get one
money to
this year.
spend, then you ain't got it. That's just like me and my budget.
I understand.
If I don't spend it, you can't spend something you ain't got.
It's against the law to cut the budget, is that what you said?
Kathy, you're next.
She done asked my question.
Okay.
Wait, I ain't on there, but can I ask the question, because I didn't know I was supposed to sign something? Can you explain to me what happened on December 12th, 2022, when y'all talked about the raises then, and y'all used the COVID money, which was over $2 million? What happened to all that, and why did y'all approve that $2 raise with our COVID money? I mean, I went back and tried to watch the video, and I couldn't hear nothing you were saying, none of y'all were saying, I couldn't really hear it. And then when I go get the minutes, it still don't make no
Is that
sense.
the 22?
Yeah, it was December 12, 2022.
That's whenever it came back through, from the comptroller, because they had to adjust the numbers. That was whenever they had to sustain the raises, you remember that meeting? Had to sustain the raises, it was $800 and something thousand to sustain. I remember what you're talking about, it was right after I'd started. The comptroller said we had to fix the numbers on it because the numbers were wrong.
Yeah, it was off, and then y'all fixed it. It went from 1,487,000, and y'all replaced it with the correct amount of over 2 million. But my thing is, if y'all approved that right then for the raise, where did that money come? Why did you use the COVID? I mean, I really don't understand. So if you could help me understand that, Mr. Clark, because you approved it, your name's right here.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
I'm trying to think what that was about. I think that most of the COVID money have went to the water line projects. They've gone to that. It's gone to the, some's going to the new health department. There's a community center in Monroe. There's gonna be some money that we've saved back for the COVID money that was used. Most of that money that you're talking about was spent on new structures or new things in the county to help with, to assist with. Now, the raise, I'm not sure exactly which one of those you're talking about. The last county executive.
It was number 9 on 222.
Was it a $2 raise or what was it?
It was a ARP Fund 127 amendment, and that's when y'all did a $2 raise, and then the comptroller came in. But like I said, I couldn't hear the video.
Right.
Because it was gotten old, I guess, or something.
Right. At that time, I think the prior county executive had looked into that, saying we could use that COVID money to help with the raises, because there hadn't been any raises been given in quite some time. If you'll look back far enough, there's not been many raises that's been added to the.
Yeah, I was down there today, and I looked.
Right.
We went back some years.
So what we did was, I think the only way we could have done it is we'd had to have the approval to give everybody that raise out of the COVID money. And I think it's due, now the highway department didn't get that part, everybody got that part of the raise. I don't know about the nursing home, I don't remember.
We have to give the nursing homes raises.
On top of it.
On top of all that.
But that was, at that time, it could be used for raises, and that's what we did with it, to help bring the money in, because the sheriff's department has came to us, just like they are now, wanting additional money for more staff. Other departments that did the same thing at that time, ambulance service, and so forth. So that's what that money was used for.
And I think at the time,
We had guidelines
Yeah, we went by the
that we went
guidelines.
by.
Yeah.
I think at the time, that's the time that Derek Sidwell contacted, he got the COVID and he died. And a lot of people, was having to stay home. They would have to stay over there and work the whole total time that they was there, shift after shift after shift, because so many people had COVID. And be honest with you guys, we felt that they deserved that, because a lot of people got really sick. A lot of people had to retire over that. Derek Sidwell lost his life over that. A lot of stuff went on. It wasn't just that we give them a $2 raise and said hunky-dory. There was a lot of stuff went into that.
Mr. Clark, can I ask something? I think most of us thought that the new health department, there was a grant being received for that. But if I understood you correct, you said that part of that come from the COVID
We had some COVID
money that she's talking about.
Match.
How long
That was our
has this
match.
new health department been into play?
This has been going on ever since 5 or 6 years. We've been waiting on the state to tell us when they wanted us to build it. So it's my understanding the state had come in and they wanted to redo all the old health departments across the state of Tennessee. Okay, and so they started that somewhere down away from here, because we just now got the green light when Stephen got elected. I'm not sure when to start the process, but it was in the works for the last 5 years. So we knew that we had a match that had to be made to that amount of money at that time. And so that COVID money that we're talking about could be used for that match. And so that's why we set it aside. We had X number of years before we would have to make sure it's all spent or have it all earmarked for whatever. So at that time, when we found out we were going to get, $5 million on the front, and I think we'll end up getting more than that now, but we had to match that, and that COVID money was acceptable to do that with. That's what we done, we put it with it. And that's why, it ain't costing you all no additional tax money to do it. Even though it came from the feds, we all pay federal tax every year, so I do too, everybody else does.
Can I ask you one more question?
But that was sent down through Washington to us, so, yes ma'am.
All right, so, I don't know when the meeting was, but was it your big idea? Because I've heard your name so much.
I think it's been dropped a lot.
That you wanted to do 70%.
No, it's not true. That's a lie.
Have you called any of these people or any of the other commissioners
I'm
and
not-
told them how to vote?
No, ma'am.
Because we've all heard that too,
Yeah,
that
well,
you're the big gun, you're the one that's doing it all.
Else has done that, anyway, just so they.
I'm just curious.
Oh,
I
I've been
mean-
honest with you, somebody, you know, they
I
drop
don't know you and you don't know
No,
me,
ma'am.
but I've been hearing your name everywhere I go.
It's easy to drop,
Mr.
isn't it?
Clark
Yeah.
said this, Mr. Clark said that.
Yeah.
Well, I almost went over there to your office to.
Well, why didn't you come over?
Well, because I didn't really want to go by myself and you cussed me out or something, and there I'd be, and I'd probably went to jail. Because Curtis Hayes threatened to throw me in jail 2 or 3. Now, I would have won if Gerald would have took me. He would have been my
He was welcome
bodyguard,
to.
he would have took me. You could have took me, Gerald.
I said, you've been welcome to bring her too if you wanted to come out. You know that. You're always welcome.
Well, I mean, I just keep hearing your name.
Well, they're dropping my name for some reason, you know, and I'm not saying anything, you know, about anything.
Then
I didn't propose the 70%.
I suggest you talk to your little commissioners,
Well-
because they all said they all blamed it on you.
Everybody-
90% of them
No,
did.
no.
I didn't say you, I did not say you, I said 90% of them.
Well, that shows you how much of a support we have at the community, don't it? So,
Yeah.
Chester, you have anything?
Couple questions.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound kind of stupid. When you talk about pennies and percentages, when you talk about pennies and percentages on these raises and what it takes, because when you talk about 6%, is that 6% of a 1 penny? Or is that 6% on the dollar, which would be $6 on 100, $60 on 1,000?
The 6% you're talking about will be on their salary, whatever they make, they'll get 6%, right, Connie?
Yes.
Okay, so.
That's not on what you're talking about.
Okay, so they're voting to give, the 6% that you're proposing is to give the county workers a raise. That's a 6% raise. That's what you're talking about, right?
Right.
Okay. So I'm probably fixing to ask the question that probably don't need to ask right now. Is this the property tax? That's what I want to know. Is it still on for 35.5%?
No. That's what I was trying to explain. A lot of people, they what, Jeremiah?
19.8 right now.
No. No, that would be the $3. Yes, you're correct on that. If the $3, it would just be 19%, not 35%. Which 19% will be
19.8, almost 20.
30 cents.
Your property tax.
All right, that's a list, so.
Is that
30%.
30 on the dollar?
No,
I'll entertain,
no. 30 cents.
we gotta get to the next meeting, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
But let me ask you one more
One more
question.
thing, I'll say one thing. All right,
Wait, go ahead, one more.
Your general fund, how's it set up? I mean, what exactly is your general fund? Where does the money come from? That's what I want to know. Because you know, he was talking about paying, maybe giving some of the employees a raise out of the general fund. So where does that money come from? I mean, does it come from the property taxes, road tax stickers?
Some of the property tax, yes. We have a whole list of, if you'll look at the budget, did you get a packet?
I've got it here, but God almighty, I didn't see that many paperwork when I was in school. And I never seen a book out there.
Starting with 12.
Page 12.
Boom, go to 12.
Is it on the $3 page or the $2 page?
All of them. Let's go page 12.
Okay.
Okay, so you see all those numbers on the left-hand side?
I see, what I've got here is the local taxes,
Yeah.
county property taxes, and current property taxes.
Okay, so page 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, shows you all the revenues.
Okay.
All
So-
the revenues.
So basically, if I'm reading this right, the current property tax is $7,468,100 change.
Yes. To that portion of the general fund, yes.
But a lot of that money can't be used for certain things, like the hotel motel tax has to be used for tourism only. So a lot of that goes to like chambers, events.
Okay, well, this is, I'm still just a little bumfuzzled on this. Are you telling me that if you pass the tax law to raise his taxes on the property, it's gonna go up 19 high percent, and that's 19 high pennies? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Huh?
no, it's 30 pennies, 30 cents to the 100,
Okay.
which would be a 19%.
Can I say, it's 32 pennies. Where right now it's at 1.9, it's,
Per 100.
it's at 197 pennies now. So the pennies on top of that 35, just divide that, and that's how you get your percentage. We're saying $1.97, and then your pennies on top of that is dividing $1.97, 1.97. So it's not on the 100 when you talk about pennies. That's where the confusion is.
Okay, that says,
30 cents per hundred.
So if my taxes was $100, and that went through, that would make my taxes $100.30.
They make it.
All right, we're gonna entertain a motion to adjourn.
I just want to say one thing, anybody who wants to call me or come talk to me, I say this every time, please do. I've had 2 phone calls, maybe 3 from the court, almost 2-3 weeks ago. You guys, come talk to me. I'll give you iced tea to drink and we can talk about this. That way we can get these meetings done. But yeah, all of us, call us. Be reasonable, we'll be glad to talk to you.
Is there a, do you guys have, is that the same money with all the contact?
Oh yeah, it's on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I can tell a lot of you are interested and really deeply concerned and would like to understand what's going on. And there is a class that they have at the chamber called Leadership Overton. And it's going on right now, but she does them fairly often. And it would be great for you to take that and maybe you could understand more what we have to deal with.
Is that not the state planning?
No.
Well, we said we wanted for about 2 hours today. And Stephen for, I don't know how long.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
They said that would be leadership.
If you're interested in that, the email address is info@leadershipoverton.org. You can email us and we can help facilitate the sign up.
Right, budget committee's up next.
We're not even considering what Evan said. What's everybody doing?
The meeting's over.
My friend.
Leave my mess